Hello. We're just going to wait a couple minutes for people to join. And since we know everyone has something that's on their mind, what can you leave at the door? I'm going to leave lunch at the door. Oh, good. I'm glad you're eating. Good to see you or hear from you, I guess, in writing. A beading project. Ooh, I kind of want to see it and not have you leave it at the door.
It's just in the planning stages, nothing to show yet.
That's pretty cool. Awesome. I see that we have a couple of board members, we have some mentors, we have a graduate, we have a current part-time cohort member. So thanks for being here. We will get started. And as always, let's start with our 3 cleansing breaths and any stretching that you need to do. All right, now that we're all calm and refreshed, let's get started. So, Techtonica is the reason we're here. Thanks for joining our org-wide meeting. We always like to review our mission. It's to help women and non-binary adults seeking economic empowerment overcome barriers to tech careers. So welcome. This is what our agenda looks like today. We will be doing our general updates, then breakout rooms. This is just a way for us to connect with each other a tiny bit during these meetings. And then I'll talk about partnerships. Saima will talk about our programming. I will go over placements, and then we'll do another round of breakout rooms and group screenshots. So we have done so much since the last meeting like this 6 months ago. And a lot of what we did in 2025 overall was covered in our recent annual impact report. So take a look at that in our newsletter or on our website if you want to see those more specifically. But there's some really great things in there. Like we conducted intensive software engineering training for 25 people from 11 states. 92% were BIPOC, 28% were people with disabilities, 20% were people beyond the gender binary, and 52% were parents. And of those, we placed 11 graduates in software engineering roles at our partner company. So hooray for that. As far as the ratings from participants, we received a 3.76 out of 4 for the overall positive experience rating. And that seems pretty good to us. We also had the 6,374th contribution to our open source curriculum. We distributed over $80,000 in financial assistance stipends, and we did provide full tuition scholarships to 96% of participants. And what else? We received 40 laptops donated from New Relic and Salesforce. We placed our 51st graduate at Sony PlayStation, and they let us know that the extension rate of our grads there is 86% compared to the 65% average for all of the programs that they are working with for their apprenticeship program. So hooray for that. Yes, thank you. And then since the last org-wide meeting, more specifically, I don't know if all of you know, but we do have our weekly team meetings plus another more special meeting called our action items meeting, where we talk about any issues that pop up and how we want to make Techtonica better. So since that last meeting, we started the second software applications part of the trial part-time program. And we had our performance reviews, and 2 of our staff members received perfect net promoter scores of 100. We submitted our official annual report to our fiscal sponsor, Social Good Fund, and shared our annual impact report. We adjusted our Zoom settings in our event organizing process. We also saw 5 weeks in a row of an average 4 out of 4 rating for our overall experience in the program. And we considered how to better support applicants' digital literacy. Dayuma will tell you a little bit more about the prereq programming that we are going to be launching. And then we reminded everyone about RAPs, which are Wellness Recovery Action Plans, basically a good way to remember what your stressors are and what the indicators of being stressed are, and how you best manage that. And then we discussed another seeker program to support grads looking for employment. We established guiding questions to evaluate accommodations. And we reviewed and improved our offboarding and violation documentation. We also gathered a few mentor testimonials. So thank you to the mentors who sent us a few sentences about that. We decided to broaden our inclusion topic to be more clear that there are a lot of different isms. And we supported team members who had family emergencies and suddenly needed some time off. We discussed how immigration issues are affecting participants and applicants. And we adjusted application wording about level of experience. We also created an emergency contact policy with advice from the lawyer on our board. We made application, education, history guidelines more specific with examples. We assessed bandwidth for extra support to participants. We brainstormed an AI policy and received feedback about that and other ideas from mentors. So thank you, mentors, for that. We began a process for relocation assistance and assisted one graduate. We evaluated part 1 of the part-time program trial and what changes we could make going forward. We put together an audio ad to reach hiring engineering managers. It should be recorded this week, so that's exciting. We reviewed performance, documentation, and process. We planned event attendance and ordered business cards. We moved to charging for consulting projects with Square invoices rather than handmade. And we gathered resources to share with the community in response to current events. So it's quite the list. We are always busy. I think our team is really good at having a growth mindset, and we're just continuously asking, how can we make this better? So thank you so much for all the people who have provided feedback and helped us understand what is needed. Also, Daima and I were invited to go to Sony PlayStation's San Mateo office. They had a 200th apprentice celebration, and we were able to see several Techtonica grads shown in this picture. So that was a really fun thing to be able to do, and very satisfying to see them and how they're thriving at Sony PlayStation. And yeah, I think we determined that was the first time Daima and I had seen each other in person in like 6 years or something. So pretty awesome. Okay, let's move into our breakout room. So we'll do, let's see, like a few people in each room. Daima, is that something you can manage? Thank you.
Yep.
And we just encourage you to introduce yourselves with your name, pronouns, and your relation to Techtonica, and then something awesome from the last 6 months. And if you need an additional prompt for conversation after that, you can talk about what you're most excited or nervous about in the coming months and what support or advice you can offer, or maybe you need that support. All right.
Okay, breakout rooms are opening.
All right. How was the breakout room? Anyone want to share anything you chatted about?
Yeah, I was cut off saying that even beyond my assigned mentee, I'm open to help anyone. Just reach out to me directly. Slack, I'm there,
Oh,
happy to
that's
help
so
anyone.
great.
Yeah. I was saying that, and then it was like, "Oh." But yeah, I continue to say, yeah, please reach out. If there is anything I can help answer, or if maybe you may ask a question that I don't know, because obviously we mentors, we don't know everything. I'll help you find out.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. That's really nice. All right, let's move on. So, partnerships. We are open to new consulting projects. So, if you know of any businesses that need some to outsource some software development, please let us know. The way that works is we basically find graduates who are currently seeking employment and we provide the mentoring they need to work on those projects. So, uh, please feel free to send them our way. There's information on our website. And then we currently have one hiring partner. No surprise, it's the same one we've had for a while, Sony Interactive Entertainment, aka Sony PlayStation. Um, and we have 5 placements that will start in July. So that is really exciting. Those will likely be in San Mateo and San Diego. Um, and yeah, we'll share more about that in the next few months. As for donations go, we had to change platforms again. And we need more recurring support. So if you are able to make a monthly support, please sign up. That would be so helpful. We also had several donations of devices last year, but we can always use more and newer ones. And we love all of the people who offer their skills and time through volunteering. So thank you so much for doing that. As far as our top 2025 individual donors go, these are the people. So I know at least a couple of them are on this call. Thank you so much for always being so supportive of Techtonica. And yeah, several of these are long-term volunteers and supporters, and several are Techtonica graduates. So it's really great to see people who go through the program and then come back and want to provide that support to other participants. We are always open to introductions to hiring managers. There's lots of information on our website. If you can make any connections to people whose companies might want to sponsor or donate or hire, please let us know. As far as program updates, I'm going to hand this over to Daima.
Alrighty, everybody. We got quite a bit to discuss. Before I jump into my spiel, I'm just going to throw some links into the chat. So we are building out our Seeker program again to help our grads. So we'll have a 2026 H1 Seeker cohort from May 11th to June 19th. And this particular round of programming will be a normal round of graduate support. If our current part-time program has any unfilled placements, that particular cohort will be candidates in the running for an eligible special case grad placement. Our details about what to expect for particular participants will be shared via email as well as the graduate channel, but just as a high-level overview, any interested grads that are wanting to apply will need to complete the free CoCam interview course consisting of 10 algorithm problems, 20 data structure problems, and 5 take-home problems. So if you're interested or you know any other alum from the program needing to brush up on skills and they want that structured support, please let them know to take a look so that they can plan out their bandwidth for working through that course. That is necessary part of the application process. Each of the Seeker programs will be 6 weeks long, and I'm saying each because we are anticipating a 2026 H2 version of the incoming cohort beginning late October. The schedule will consist of sprint planning, sprint review, retro and demo. So really honing in on what it means to understand Agile and that Scrum system. There'll be 3 to 5 stand-ups per sprint, just depending on the week. And then 75 minutes of AI session per week just to kind of dust off some skills or introduce how to work with AI with a more robust skill set than our typical full-time or part-time program, now that they are all alums. And there will also be 1 mock interview per participant per sprint. That mock interview will consist of 10 to 15-minute check-in, just see how you're doing in the program, what supports you need, and then a 45 to 50-minute interview. For anybody interested in the program, or if you're mentors or community supporters trying to give somebody a nudge back into dusting off their skills, or needing more formal support with job searching, we would like each of our program participants within the Seeker program to leave that program having 6 major open source contributor issues under their belt. They'll have that mock interview with detailed feedback. They will have an improved understanding of Agile fluency. They'll have some AI enhanced skill development that maybe they hadn't had access to or have more context about. They'll be able to refresh their portfolio with some GitHub activity and some advanced project building skills, including collaborative development. They'll have support with building out their warm outreach job search strategy, as well as, of course, the supportive community. For this incoming Seeker program, there will be no stipends for the duration of the cohort unless consulting project is picked up, at which time an assigned participant within the Seeker program on that project will earn a stipend based on the project details. So if you or someone you know that is an alum would like to be a part of that program, please make sure that you share those details that are in the chat with them. If you want to be a mentor to provide some office hours support during that time, please let us know. We can also give more details, as we will later, about the specific timing. Alrighty, jumping on over away from the Seeker program into our part-time program, we just wanted to spend just a little bit of time championing what's going on. So they have expressed real appreciation for capacity to balance external responsibilities and upskilling. And the distinction between this full-time program and the part-time program is really having barrier to entry. So our session 1, it really enables anyone in the community that meets our eligibility to have access to understand if they are ready to move on to part 2, which is where they have a more accelerated version of building. Another addition is we had 4 new hackathons, which enable collaborative development rather than siloed independent project development. So that really enables them to understand Git workflow, code review, best practices, all that jazz. Which is really important even after graduation. That's going to be expected of them on the job. So yay, participants of the part-time program. And then let's jump into the prerequisite program, which is actually a really stellar core learning about what's come out of the part-time program. So we saw that some of the people during session 1 or even during pre-work were really needing some additional support to really get them across the finish line and into session 2. So we are establishing a prereq program open to the community, open to everyone that meets eligibility. And so we're going to be having 8 2-hour workshops in the month of July. We're really excited about this programming. We don't have particular dates for incoming prospective part-time cohort. This is us announcing this community support in anticipation of that programming. Those that join these prereqs workshops, they'll be able to get the necessary skills and information that will set them up for success by helping them meet minimum entry requirements. So things like basic arithmetic understanding and rules of logic, like truth tables, for example, or willingness to use and showcase critical thinking, or just basic Mac basics like touchpad, common key command, app usage, or even just computer usage like touch typing, how to use an email, how to use Slack, browser, software, and then basic remote etiquette alongside core skills and how to develop their growth mindset. So really important if you know someone super interested, trying to make a transition, trying to upskill, but they're not really sure where to start or don't have the support in these areas. It's really going to set them up for success to do well during that pre-work as well as session 1. So again, that second link there, please, 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 I beg of you, share that with your communities. Really important for us to get the word out and reach different accessible areas. So please let everybody know. And then if someone that you know is interested in that programming, some of the programming is going to require the need for a Mac laptop. So they can also reach out to Techtonica for renting a laptop. That's an option. Alrighty, that is me on the program updates. If we can jam on over to the next slide. Thank you. So we love this slide on the programming team because it really allows us to take in everything, right? We got JavaScript here, HTML, the DOM, CSS, how the internet works, command line, GitHub, UI, UX, networking, runtime. Okay, that's not an easy peasy pill to swallow. React, accessibility, SEO, Node, APIs, JSON, promises, HTTP, Express, middleware, databasing, SQL, testing. I haven't named it all. Okay, these participants have been learning and reviewing about the nitty-gritty details of all the topics that I just mentioned and more, and they are also implementing them time and time again over in different ways to fulfill different prompts. They've already completed 22 weeks of learning. That's a lot of weeks, y'all. That's a lot of commitment. They have 13 more weeks to go. During the time that they've been in program, they have built 11 apps, 7 of which were full stack. Okay. And that's so far, in addition to those things, they've already had 2 hackathons and they were able to very quickly learn about collaborative development, the power, the essential power of best practices, the impact of documentation, and just generally how to work cross-collaboratively. They've got 2 more hackathons and 1 more full stack app with an AI feature. And then they'll move on to their final project, which is super exciting. So go part-time program. Alrighty, so a little bit more on what they're looking at. They've already created those full stack apps. They've gone through apps called Techtonica, Animal Sighting Tracker, Contact List, and Weather app. Hot tip, the contact list and the weather app or the option of a game app, they're building those 2 out in 1 week or 2 weeks, 2 part-time weeks. So they're building 2 apps, 2 full stack apps in the matter of a sprint, which is really upping their technical game. The skills that they work on are also not just technical. They also work on their soft skills, which we call soft core skills. So they attend feedback workshops, personal branding workshops, bias testing. They create burnout prevention plans. And they also learn about imposter syndrome, microaggressions, how to build that confidence, how to talk to a manager, how to get great career advice from Michelle. And so really holistically, helping them to become and decide how to manage the technologist that they want to be. Alrighty, so how can you help? And the community, how can y'all help? If you are searching for new job opportunities, remember that mentoring can help you develop new skills such as communication, debugging, leadership, and problem solving. So by sharing your knowledge and experience with others, you can actually help them to learn the new skills, advance their careers, and you can continue to develop your own skill set and expertise. So if you are figuring out how you can help, it's a win-win if you want a mentor. We also need a lot of help with our open source repositories, particularly our curriculum and our website repos. So if you don't have a specific chunk of time that you'd like to contribute to, we welcome that support there as well. If you're interested in being a mentor, please reach out. And then also with so many layoffs and hiring freezes impacting the tech industry and whatever the shifts are in the climate that we're dealing with, Techtonica's really felt the aftershocks of some of those changes. And so we really do need sponsors. If your company or someone in your network would like to join the fight to increase diversity in tech, by partnering with us, by helping women and non-binary adults seek economic empowerment and break into tech careers, please connect them with us. Alrighty, that's it on the updates. Let's do a second round of breakout rooms. So for this one, you are going to talk about what you're feeling grateful for today. Let's get those breakout rooms all set up. Recreate. Alrighty, I'm gonna open the rooms and you'll be off.
All right. Thanks for doing that. I hope that was fun. Does anyone want to share anything you chatted about?
I guess I could share mine. The prompt was to talk about something that you're grateful about. And I expressed how grateful I was for, and I still am always. I always put this in the survey, to Techtonica and how Techtonica creates this safe space for you to be vulnerable and to have vulnerable conversations. Where at one point I felt like, and this was a conversation I had with Monica, where I felt like, and also with Daim as well, where I felt like I wasn't a software engineer and I wasn't, and I had to have other people tell me like, hey, you're good enough, kid. Like, yeah, you're a software engineer after all. And really, that label can't really be given to me externally. Like I need to be the one to be like, I am good enough. And although this work is hard, I'll get to the point where I'll know what this means and I'll know how this works. And when you're going into the industry, obviously there's new technologies that you're gonna have to learn. And so it just made me reflect on that and how grateful I am for the space to provide me those moments to have those conversations where I'm like, oh, I am good enough and I am learning and it's gonna, and it goes in waves. So yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Thanks, Dory. Okay, well, thanks for sharing and thanks everyone for joining. We are going to do our group screenshot now. So if you're not on camera right now, but you can quickly join if you would like to, optional, of course, feel free to do so. Hey. All right, we're gonna do one of us just smiling at the camera, and then we'll do one that's a little more celebratory. All right, everybody smile. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. I like the peace sign. All right, now a celebratory one, whatever that looks like. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining. We also have an event survey that we like to share at the end of this meeting. I just put it in the chat. So if you feel like you would like to give us some feedback about this meeting, you enjoyed it, or you really hated something about it, let us know. And thanks for joining. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Real quick, Daima, before you go, if you have a second, is there a deadline for the Seeker program application?
We'll share that with you via email and in the grad channel. Thanks for
Okay.
calling.
Thanks, Daima.
Bye, everybody.